According to the article called Thanksgiving contributed to U.S. Embassy in Consulate in the Republic of Korea, every fall season, in the United States, every fourth Thursday on November, many Americans just return to their home and meet with family to enjoy after making some foods, turkeys and cranberry with some very pies made out of nuts and cranberry sauces, and having a really fun time. And not only doing that, they also many thanks to the God, especially for the countless blessings they've gotten, and that day. Likewise, Chuseok is Korean Thanksgiving, which is also the this type of Thanksgiving also pretty much the same, pretty much the similar to the Americans' Thanksgiving. The season is at the end week of September and the first week of October. According to Korean History 101, Colin Chuseok uploaded on atkmagazine.com, there are two kinds of origins that's been handed down for generation. So to this day, it's unclear which one is more plausible than other. The first one, that Chuseok originates from the month-long weaving contest made by King Yuri, who was the third king of Shilla. So ancient Korea was divided into three kingdoms: first Goguryeo, Baekje, and Shilla. So the King Yuri was the third king of Shilla. So King Yuri called. He really want to encourage his people to actively use the weaving technique. So he designed a quite unique game for them. So he called the women in many villages together and divided into two groups. The king asked them to weave hemp cloth from July to August, and in mid-August he stopped the game and started measuring the length of both teams' hemp cloth. The length of the cloth is decided the winning or losing of its game. So, for the winning team, they just screamed and loudly enjoyed for joy for its winning. And on the other hand, for the losing team, they just cooked and served delicious foods and drink for the winning team. So the many studies considered that day that weaving contest was the first origin of Chuseok. Secondly, Chuseok was established to commemorate the day that Shilla completely conquered Baekje. King Eija was the last king of Baekje before the country was completely occupied by Shilla. The legend has it that King Eija found out the turtle with some markings on its shell, and he called the fortune teller and asked the meaning of its markings. The fortune teller, that guy, said, Baekje, full moon, and Shilla, half moon. Additionally, he said, Baekje will be declined and disappeared in the mists of history because it's full moon. However, Shilla will become powerful and prosperous because it's half moon. So this message quickly spread through all around not only Baekje but also Shilla. And then after the Baekje completely occupied by Shilla, the king of Shilla, Buyeo, established the day that Shilla conquered the Baekje as a happy anniversary of victory. So that day was the first Chuseok in ancient Korea. According to traditional Korean holiday of bountiful harvest, Chuseok contributed on travel highlights. The most popular traditions and costumes on Chuseok Day are Charye and Seongmyeon. So first, Charye is Korean ancestral worship rite that all family members just give many thanks to their ancestral spirit for his or her countless blessings. Charye is normally held in the house that the ancestor had lived for a very long time when he or she was alive. The specific day the Charye is typically held is among Chuseok, 설날, or specific anniversary of his or her death. Especially on that day, 송편, 막걸리, various types of 전 are prepared on the table, which is called 차례상. 차례상 is anniversary ceremonial table to serve for their ancestral gods. Seongmyeon is another type of very serious, sacred service. For this service, the whole family, especially men, go to the spirit's burial mound and keep plucking up the grave weeds and perfectly clean up the surrounding area. Through this ritual service, they shows up full of respect and appreciation for their ancestors. According to How to Celebrate Korean Thanksgiving Day on KoreanClass101.com, the most popular Chuseok-related games that many Koreans like are 강강술래, 윷놀이, 씨름, and 줄다리기. The 강강술래 is an old Korean traditional game which is only open to women and mostly played during the midnight. But there are many stories related to its origin. However, the most powerful, plausible story is that the Admiral Lee Sun-shin, during the Japanese invasion of Korea in 1592, in Usu-yeong, which located at Jeollado province, he just created the game 강강술래 to get very scared while climbing up the mountain. And 윷놀이 is Korean traditional board game which is very similar to the Western board game. When one stick over and 3 sticks up, it's 도. When the player is 도, the person is able to take 1 step forward. When 2 sticks up and 2 sticks over, it's 개. So the person is able to 2 steps forward. When 1 stick up and 3 sticks over, it's called 걸. So the person can take 3 steps forward. And when all sticks over, it's called 윷. When it's 윷, the person can take 4 steps forward. And when all sticks up, it's called 모. The person can take 5 steps forward. 씨름 is Korean traditional wrestling, which is originated from Goguryeo in the 4th century AD. The rule of 씨름 is the 2 persons who are wearing thigh bands stand on the sand table and grab each other's 삿바, and the person who throw down the other person first get the win. On Chuseok, typically the weather on that day was very cloudless, beautiful sky, and cool air. So because of this type of weather, the many families just go out to the sports ground, and play 줄다리기. There's not much difference between the role of 줄다리기 and Western tug of war. It's basically the game, the team who's trying to tuck the rope first in this game. Additionally, on Chuseok, the family may can serve various Chuseok foods. There are 송편, 전, and 제사, and the foods on 제사상 for 차례. So one of the most significant foods is 송편. So the size of it is half-moon shaped one and is really smaller than golf ball. After producing half-moon shaped 송편 by using people's hand, they also must put a large amount of pine needles just so the scent of pine is able to be permeated to each songpyeon cakes. And then after doing some steaming process for a long time, finally they turn out to sticky rice cakes. Jeon, which is called a Korean pancake, is the thing that most Koreans enjoy on Chuseok season. There are several different kinds of jeon. It depends on the ingredients which are used for jeon. So Hamulpajeon is based on seafoods, and Puchujeon is based on chives and other ingredients, and Kimchijeon is of course based on kimchi and other ingredients. After ending up charye, they enjoy the various kinds of foods after ending up the ceremony. Occasionally, there are many kinds of traditional foods like persimmon, dried persimmons, seafoods, and seasoned Korean vegetables, and other Korean traditional cookie. But not only them, but also there are mango, banana, and chocolate chip cookies, which is a little bit weird and inappropriate for this, right? However, it really doesn't matter because the foods and drink depends on which type of thing the ancestor liked to eat when they were alive. According to Korean History 101, Chuseok uploaded on ATK magazine. Basically, Chuseok is Korean Thanksgiving, which is held at the end of the September and the first week of October. And Koreans who are living in the big major city for a living come back to their hometown and enjoy a lot of foods and respect the ancestor spirits to pray the next year's or this year's blessings. And they not only do that, they also play some yunori, 씨름, 강강술래, and 줄다리기 as well to show off their lovely family bond. But for 씨름 and 강강술래, most of the time they just watch the TV program and just participate on some special official events for those games, not doing personally with their family.